Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into Sacred Marriage by Gary Thomas, a thought-provoking exploration of the interweaving of spiritual purpose and marital commitment. Published in the year 2000, this book offers an introspective look at how a relationship can evolve into more than a bond between two people, but a journey towards a deeper, divine connection. Gary Thomas, an author with a rich background in blending scriptural wisdom with contemporary life, serves as a professor at Western Seminary in Portland, Oregon. He is also recognized for his multiple published works and his insightful contributions to the podcast, Family Life Today. Sacred Marriage transcends the typical guide to marital success by posing the question, what if the purpose of marriage is not just to make us happy, but to make us holy? Through practical advice rooted in spiritual understanding, Thomas provides couples with the tools to cultivate a relationship that not only thrives on love and commitment, but also on a shared pursuit of spiritual growth. This book is tailored for Christian newlyweds eager to lay a foundation for a lifelong partnership, spiritual spouses seeking fulfillment and joy in their union, and any couple yearning for a sanctified and purpose-driven relationship. Join us as we unpack the profound insights that Sacred Marriage has to offer for elevating love to a sacred realm where the bonds of matrimony serve a greater divine purpose. Sacred Marriage. What if God designed marriage to make us holy more than to make us happy? Introduction. Marriage. The journey to spiritual enrichment. Picture this. You've walked down the aisle, exchanged vows, and are embarking on a lifetime of wedded bliss. Or so you thought. The reality? Marriage is a mix of joy and challenges, victories and trials, and yes, a healthy dose of the everyday ordinary. But what if I told you that marriage is less about constant happiness and more about an extraordinary journey of spiritual growth? Picture marriage as a sacred pathway where two souls intertwine to strive for one of life's most profound purposes, holiness. It's a path where the virtues taught by Jesus, like humility, compassion, and sacrifice, don't just apply, they're essential. Now take a moment, let's step into a tale of two hearts intertwined, not just in pursuit of love, but in a quest for divine closeness. This narrative is not your typical romance. It's about understanding that through love and commitment, within the boundaries of marriage, you can attain a closeness to God and elevate your spiritual life. Here's what we will uncover together. How your devotion to your partner is a testament to your love for God. Why every challenge within your marriage is an opportunity to forge a stronger character. And the ways in which intimacy connects not just bodies, but souls, enriching your spiritual bond. Embark on this exploration of matrimonial unity, where love elevates and every shared moment is a step closer to the spiritual serenity we seek. Part 1. Holiness over happiness, a higher calling in marriage. Imagine standing at the altar, looking into the eyes of your beloved, and stepping onto the roller coaster that is married life. There will be breathtaking climbs and exhilarating drops, but like any long journey, expect stretches of the routine and flat plains where the excitement seems to all but vanish. And when the going gets tough, some couples enter a battlefield of blame, while others abandon ship, hoping for sweeter waters with someone new. Yet this surrender is a premature forfeit of an extraordinary opportunity. In Christianity, marriage is not merely an earthly companionship, but a transient chapter in our infinite existence. The core of this sacred partnership is not the persistent pursuit of happiness, but a higher calling, to be sanctified through your union and ultimately to inch closer to God. Here's the crux of it all. The ultimate purpose of marriage isn't happiness, but holiness. Drawing from the scriptures, specifically 2 Corinthians 5:9, the Apostle Paul counsels us to aim not just to please ourselves or our spouses, but rather to please God. That's the compass that should navigate every aspect of a Christian's life, undeniably extending to the sanctity of marriage. We ought to shift from asking, "What will bring me joy?" to What will be pleasing in the eyes of God? At the heart of Christ's mission was the beckoning call to reconcile, to transform enmity into harmony, to exchange animosity for unconditional love. Admittedly, there are severe storms, like betrayal or threats to a child's well-being, where divorce may become a necessary harbor. Yet when your marriage sails on faith, it can brave the roaring tempests of temptation and miscommunication that would otherwise drown it. Embracing a spiritual perspective in marriage doesn't smooth out all the wrinkles. No, it's akin to the process of forging steel. The bond is strengthened under pressure. Marriage shines a glaring light on our imperfections, be it selfishness, quick tempers, or an urge to control. Only by confronting our defects and seeing each squabble as a chance to refine our character can we hope to draw nearer to God. And here is the beautiful paradox. By inching closer to God, we inevitably tether ourselves more closely to our spouse. In right relationship with God, spiritual contentment flourishes. You no longer cling to the desire to redesign your partner, to launch demands or projections. Liberated, you can pour yourself into emulating Christ's love and treasuring your companion, no longer as a mere partner in life, but as your comrade in a sacred quest for holiness. Part 2. Marriage as a Sanctuary for True Virtue. Once upon a time, two devoted brothers worked side by side, tending to their crops of golden wheat. As night fell, each silently pledged to aid the other, secretly gifting handfuls of precious grain. Their paths crossed, and as they embraced under the stars, a divine proclamation named that sacred ground a temple of love. Inspired by this parable, we come to see marriage not just as a legal bond, but as a testament to the very love of God. Let's uncover how marriage becomes our personal temple. Use your marriage to practice the Christian virtues of love and respect. Embracing your spouse, with all their quirks and colors, mirrors the unconditional love that Christ has for humanity. The profound spiritual journey of marriage offers endless opportunities to sharpen the capacity to love, as love itself is a reflection of divine affection. This journey isn't one-sided. Differences don't hinder. They enhance the marriage, inviting us to overcome ego, embrace our limitations, and rejoice in the presence of our other half. Marriage is a canvas on which the mosaic of humanity is enlightened by the grace of love. Together with love, respect becomes the linchpin of a holy union. As time tempers the flame of passion into a steady glow, nurturing respect is paramount. After all, both man and woman are created in the divine image. To honor one's spouse is to honor God's creation. To enact honor isn't to remain silent. It's an act of deliberate grace, a daily cultivation of gratitude, punctuated by words of appreciation. Focus not on faults, but on the myriad reasons for thankfulness. Offer public compliments, celebrate triumphs, and take time to genuinely delve into your spouse's world. Consider a spiritual exercise to bridge any distance between you and your spouse. Inquire about their day, delve into their challenges, glean insight into what fuels their fears and what fragments their hope. When you truly understand the trials that your beloved faces, your capacity to honor and value them grows, as does the sanctity of your union. In the end, remember that marriage, like the temple built on the site of love, is holy. Your marriage is where you learn to emulate Christ's unwavering love and respect, ultimately enriching both your spiritual essence and your eternal bond with your spouse. Part 3. Embracing growth and forgiveness in the covenant of marriage. During the dance of courtship, we often present the shiniest versions of ourselves, hoping to capture a heart. But when the wedding bells fade and reality settles like dew, marriage shines an uncompromising light on our true selves. Marriage is a mirror, reflecting not just our strengths but also the cracks and crevices of our character. It tests our patience, our tolerance, and our ability to remain kind when the going gets tough. Confronting this reality is not a burden, but a blessing in disguise. Here's the transformative truth. Your marriage can expose sin and teach forgiveness. Facing up to the less than ideal self that the mirror of marriage exposes requires bravery and, more importantly, humility. The wisdom of François Fenelon whispers through the ages, reminding us that humility is the bedrock of virtue. It is the acknowledgement of our imperfections and the willingness to improve upon them. Rather than cower from the reflection, let it fuel your journey toward sanctification. Consult your spouse, your soul's companion, on where they perceive flaws, perhaps a tendency to control or to criticize, and then pledge to evolve. Embrace every critique as a step towards a shared elevation in holiness. As in any human relationship, the person you've bound your life to carries their own set of shortcomings and will, at times, fail you. And here lies another lesson of marriage: forgiveness. The Christian mandate to hate the sin and love the sinner becomes a daily practice in marriage. When life's inevitable stumbles occur, choose to fall towards your partner, choosing reconciliation over resentment. Engagement in conflict is a spiritual exercise, one that distills the essence of what it means to love. It beckons us to empathize before we criticize, to prioritize us over the ego's desire to win. This crucible of conflict ultimately leads to an acceptance, a divine affirmation that your love is for the imperfect human that shares your world, not a figment of your fantasies. Tethering your heart to another's in the covenant of marriage means learning from every skirmish. And as anyone who's ever kissed and made up knows, these reconciliation moments can reinforce the bonds of intimacy in extraordinary ways. Yet the lessons of marriage echo far beyond the confines of your shared abode. They shape your relationship with the divine. Troubles may shake your faith, eliciting howls of despair towards the heavens. But remember, the pathway to healing through forgiveness is identical, whether with your spouse or your God. Marriage, then, is not merely a union of two souls. It is a school of virtue, an odyssey of forgiveness, and an unspoken pledge to grow together towards the light of God. Part 4. Endurance in Marriage, the Path to Character and Strength. As you find yourself wading through the ebb and flow of marital life, it's not uncommon to feel adrift in a sea of routine. The very essence of marriage has transformed over time, with longer lifespans stretching the journey from decades to possibly a lifetime. It's a marathon, not a sprint, demanding the kind of endurance that reflects the steadfastness of Christ. It's vital to see beyond the mundanities, grasping this essential truth. Marital challenges present the opportunity to build perseverance and character. Think of perseverance as a sacred vessel navigated by the promise of an eternal horizon. In a world where divorces flash by like shooting stars, the choice to remain steadfast in marriage becomes testimony to your faith. Patience is the oar that propels this union. Experts suggest that it may take up to 14 years to truly knit two lives into one. So before you contemplate surrender, ensure you've given the roots of your relationship time to burrow deep and draw sustenance. There are strategies to anchor you through the squalls. One can meditate on the concept of the afterlife, granting perspective and solace that the present tribulations are but a whisper in the grand tale of time. Alternatively, choose to rejuvenate the canvas of your union by weaving your collective story into a tapestry shared with loved ones, fortifying its significance. Moreover, let each hardship carve out the dross, leaving behind a sculpted character firm in faith. Recall the biblical sagas: Daniel in the lion's den, Moses parting the Red Sea, Christ on Golgotha, each a testament to resilience. Be thankful, for every test is an invitation to grow closer to the divine. Remember, a fulfilling marriage is sculpted with intention. It isn't stumbled upon by chance. The partner you walk down the aisle with can become the one, as you both commit to cultivating love, patience, and empathy. This may be a crucible, but such is the narrative of Christianity, emblemized by Christ's sacrifice. Embrace the challenges, for in the kiln of commitment, the bond of marriage is not weakened but tempered into an unbreakable alloy, burnished with the grace of shared faith. Part 5. Service at the heart of marriage, reflecting Christ's love. In a culture mesmerized by self-care and personal boundaries, the notion of sacrifice within relationships might seem antiquated, even outlandish. Yet, in the teachings of Christianity, true greatness manifests through service and sacrifice, pillars that can transform the fabric of a marriage. This is the profound invitation. Emulate Jesus by embracing sacrifice and serving your spouse. The scripture, particularly Ephesians 5:25, illustrates the depth of this call by urging a husband to cherish his wife as Christ did the church, a love so deep it was worth dying for. Sacrificial love isn't limited by time. It's the all-encompassing vocation of married life. It could mean taking the night shift with a newborn or lifting a partner's spirits, piercing through the shadow of your own weary blues. Let's extend this spirit of sacrifice into the realm of physical union. In the circling dance of intimacy, you have the opportunity to embody selflessness, prioritizing your spouse's needs and desires while heeding your own. In a setting where shame has often shrouded our understanding, let gratitude flow freely. Remember, sexuality is a divine gift. Cultivate a thankful heart for the profound moments of connection and the joy that springs from your lovemaking. Through such intimacy, the bond of marriage deepens and extends to the care for our environment, the nurturing of children, and a fervent love of God. This unshackling of passion should revel in the exhilarating, as Scripture suggests. No stream of fervor within the sanctity of marriage is too fierce. As you emulate Jesus' servanthood, let it permeate every facet of your shared life: the giving of time, the sharing of resources, the exchange of words. In prayer, seek the light that will dispel your shadows of selfishness, and ask for guidance toward a softer, more generous temperament. When service flows from an open heart, it transcends duty. It becomes an act of love. This is where joy unfurls its petals. Serve not with the clenched fist of obligation, but with the outstretched hands of grace. In doing so, you chart a course toward not just a happy marriage, but a sacred one, steeped in divine joy and unconditional love. Part 6. Building a divine connection through everyday communication. Christian spirituality is not a hunt for the mystical or the esoteric. Rather, it is about seeking an intimate connection with God in the everyday. The divine is always with us, offering wisdom and solace. We just have to attune ourselves to its frequency. Now, how do you find this sacred presence amidst the din of daily life? Believe it or not, through the art of communication. Embrace this principle. Invite God's presence into your daily life through righteous communication. The bustling family life, far from being an obstacle to spirituality, actually serves as the crucible in which God's presence can be felt. Christ himself affirmed in Matthew 18 that unity in purpose summons the divine. Praying in unison will move mountains. Communication in marriage is a commitment to sharing your deepest essence with your partner. It's about intertwining spirits, a process akin to the dance of divine communion. Sharing your inner self is perhaps the most sacred gift you can offer, and it is through communication that this gift unfolds. Yet this connection transcends mere words. It's also about embracing humility. It's an act of putting aside your ego to truly understand your spouse's perspective, recognizing that words may not carry the same meaning for both of you. This practice reaps immense spiritual rewards, enriching both your marriage and your prayers. Jointly, through words that inspire and uplift, you can aid one another in recognizing the pervasive presence of God. Therein lies the potential for you as a couple to grow into a couple saint, united in the endeavor to serve God's higher purpose. But tread carefully. The impact of words is profound. While harsh words can seed turmoil, gracious speech can restore peace and nurture life. Every word uttered has the power to either welcome the divine into your midst or to distance it. Perfection in communication isn't the goal here, as the marital voyage is riddled with trials and learning curves. The key is to begin with a sincere heart and a willingness to evolve. Inch by inch, as you invite sanctity into your partnership, your shared life becomes an odyssey of true significance, a sacred expedition toward the heart of God. Final summary. Reflecting upon the insights gathered from Sacred Marriage by Gary L. Thomas, we are led to a profound understanding that stretches beyond mundane expectations of matrimony. Here's the distilled essence of this journey. Marriage is not a quest for personal gratification, nor a mere pursuit of fleeting happiness. Instead, it's a spiritual endeavor aimed at cultivating holiness within ourselves. The solitude sought by religious hermits to grow closer to God is mirrored in the shared life of a married couple. It's through the very acts of pleasing, honoring, forgiving, and selflessly serving our significant other that we not only nourish our souls, but also fortify our bond with the divine. Embrace the tribulations and monotonies that come with marriage, for they are opportunities to deepen perseverance and build character. In practicing righteous communication and daily servitude towards your partner, you draw the presence of God into every facet of life. Ultimately, marriage can be a vessel of transformation, leading not only to a closer relationship with God, but also to a more profound, enduring love for your spouse. It is in the harmonious blend of love, sacrifice, faith, and challenge that we unearth the true treasures of a sacred marriage. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.